It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. I got to tell you, man, what's going on now in college football is why people love the sport. The weekends like we just had are why you love the sport. Spit it out. Why you love the sport of college football. All these upsets, all these, big dramas, all this stuff. This is why college football has the best regular season of any major sport in the entire world. It isn't 162 games of baseball, 80, whatever, how many games of basketball. You could lose some, you could win some, go on a win streak, lose streak, whatever. It's all good. No. You got 12 games, and each one carries massive weight. It is why this sport hits everyone in such a different way. And you got to like it. You got to love it. And this weekend, all of those breaks favored Notre Dame. It's wild to feel the ups and the downs of a college football season. Through 2 weeks, you're like, Notre Dame might be dead. You're looking at a 7-5 year, 8-4 year, whatever. You get a couple wins. The defense starts to play better. You get some help around the country. Boom, Notre Dame's at 16 in the AP poll, staring up at 12, and you can see it from where you're at. This is why you love the sport. As long as you're not one of the teams getting ripped by everybody in the entire country for blowing a game that you shouldn't have lost, and then everybody's ripping you and your team and your coach and your fan base, right? Like, you only love all the chaos when it isn't at your expense. So let's be honest about that. You got to be kidding me what I'm seeing in the chat. 3 minutes in on a Monday morning and I got a Penn State guy running their mouth. Oh my golly gee, are you kidding me? God help you, man. God help you. That is unbelievable. What is this guy saying? You threw my entire introduction off. You did. This is outrageous. Look at this. Penn State would beat Notre Dame. Unfortunately for you, we're not on the schedule. UCLA was, and that was last year that you should have done it. I don't even know what to say to this. It could actually be right. I don't know, but you're not in the position to say that today. It could actually be right. And I'll still say you're not in the position to say that right now. You're just not. You're not in the position to say that right now. You guys are the biggest laughingstock joke in the entire country. And everyone's laughing in your face because you deserve it. All you guys did is run your mouths all summer and gaslight everybody. This is the year. We're number one. The whole band's coming back. It all lines up. We paid money to keep our guys from going to the NFL, some of them so they could come back, and this is the year it's all going to come together. For our head coaches, 4-20 against the top 10, but magically, out of nowhere, for no reason, this is going to be the year that he turns it all around. Why would you ever believe it? There was no evidence to believe it, and we got gaslit every single day. All summer, we got gaslit by the local Penn State media, all of their fan base, and the national media. They couldn't. All summer, every day, it's another article. Penn State #1 this year. Oh, preseason top 25, way too early, top 25 list. Penn State #1 or 2. This is the year. There was never any evidence for this to be the year. There was never any evidence this was going to be the year other than blind hope. Absolutely no evidence to believe in Penn State other than hope. And it was unwarranted. What? Explain this to me. And I recorded a video coming out tomorrow about the new AP poll. Some of this is going to be in it. So hang with me if I'm going to do a little overlap. But this guy just triggered me. Here's my point. What was the evidence to believe in Penn State this year? That is what I'm struggling with. We got gaslit every single day all summer, and I got mentions. James Franklin, big game record here. He got sick of losing the big games, so you decide to lose the little ones too. What was the evidence to believe in Penn State this year? I'm still waiting. All the gaslighting we suffered, and I'm waiting to hear the reason we should have believed it was going to be different. What do you mean we cheated? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. I understand it's been a long weekend, but have you lost your mind? What do you mean Notre Dame cheated? What, did we cheat when your quarterback threw the interception to blow the game? Was that us cheating? Sorry. Like, here's my point with this. There was no reason to believe in Penn State because if you play it out logically, what we were being sold with Penn State, getting pumped up all summer about them, this is the year. You got to explain the theory to me. But Andrew, here's what I'm not understanding. Why did you think a coach that was 4-20 against the top 10 was magically going to be good against the top 10? Why? Like, I'm waiting for a real reason. Why would 4-20 is not 1-3 against the top 10 in 2 years of evidence or whatever. 4-20 is a long body of work. Why was I supposed to think just because another summer went by, magically a guy who's a big game loser is going to be a big game winner? Why would I think that? Why would I think? I don't understand, man. Like, you got to sell me. Why was everyone in on this concept? Why? How did you figure a guy with the body of work that's 4-20 was magically going to change it? John, we did the exact same thing for 20 years. No, we did not. You had a new coach. No, it's the exact opposite of that, NDF. Notre Dame switched coaches. It's totally different. You're going on like a year 2, 3, and 4 log of data, not 13 and 14 years of data. Totally different. No, totally different. And nobody ever believed in Brian Kelly in those big games here. Are you kidding me? So I just don't understand why everybody thought that a guy that's 4-20 magically, because one more summer went by, he was going to suddenly have that it factor to start beating top 10 teams. There was no evidence for it. Oh, wait. I know what you're going to say, Penn State guy. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, we got all the guys back. We got all like the core guys, not your, defensive guy that went to the NFL and the tight end, but you got most of the core back, those good running backs. You got your quarterback, whatever. You feel good about it. And we got those guys all coming back for one more year, like Michigan did the year they won it, where they convinced all their core guys to come back one more year, right? So then the argument is we got all these guys back. And so what it's going to be different. That doesn't mean anything. So you brought back the same group of guys that weren't good enough to beat the good teams last year, and magically, again, one more summer, and they're all magically beating the top 10 for no reason? Why would anybody have believed that? So we were gaslit all summer, and I'm just glad this is happening. And the way that fan base acts and speaks and treats people, I'm glad to see it happen. I'm sorry. So you got problems now. Now, I will say this. The most, I'm going to throw this out there. What would make all this really, really interesting? Watch Penn State go beat Ohio State. Isn't it at their place too? Is it at Ohio State? Watch Penn State right when everybody counts them out and they're done. Watch them. That'll be the year they beat Ohio State and then lose to Indiana after it and end up with 3 losses and out anyways. I could see it from here. Like, I'm just saying I could see it where right when everybody finally gives up on Penn State and doesn't believe in them at all is when they play a great game and beat Ohio State. I'm open to that just because it would be the most drama-filled thing ever right when you count them out. But I've never understood the theory that we were magically supposed to believe a guy that has proven over like 14 years that he can't beat the Big Ten. That 4-21 against the top 10, 2 of them are Boise State and SMU, man. Like, bro, this is really bad when you look at this number. That 4-21, 2 of the ones on the plus side are SMU and Boise State. And I know that it's the playoffs, so you got to give them credit for that being a big game. But don't act like you were beating world beaters. Don't act like Penn State didn't have the easiest road in the playoff of anybody. SMU and Boise. Come on, man. So those are 2 that are on the plus side of the ledger, the 4-21. So I don't know. And then while we're doing this, I got off track by that guy running the gall to do what you just did. And the first thing you think of bright and sunny on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. is to troll Notre Dame. I think you're losing your mind. Like the unawareness of your situation to do what you just did. And the first thing that's in your brain is to troll a Notre Dame channel the next morning. I can't understand what's going through your head. I know you're like going through it, but man, unbelievable. I just, the unawareness of your situation that you're where you're at and you're going to come in here and give us a hard time. Nobody's trolling you. I'm spitting facts over here. Bro, you can't beat the worst team in the Power 4. What are you talking about? Jeez, this is unbelievable. So anyways, Penn State Sports Talk, answer me this. Now that we're down this road, callers, I'm coming to you. Now that we're doing this, let me ask a real question. I have consumed a large amount of Penn State media since late Saturday night when I was done with all my work, done with the writing and the articles and the videos and the post-game show and everything. And I finally got to relax. The games were over. And all I did is look up YouTube Penn State game reactions on YouTube. Is this the end for Franklin? Is this the end for Franklin? We can't go on like this. We were promised better. Is this the end for Franklin? All these YouTube Penn State people. This has got to be the end. This is a breaking point, whatever. Here's my question. You're not paying the guy that wins 10 games a year, basically, $50 million to go away. That's not happening. Like, I've been hearing the rumors between 48 and 56 is the buyout or whatever. You are not paying a guy that averages 10 wins a year in the Big Ten $50 million to go away. You're not doing that. So here's what I don't understand. I get the frustration in the moment. I put myself in their position and how I would be, and you would be saying, get this guy out of here for something better. Sounds like Brian Kelly at Notre Dame, doesn't it? Anybody seeing any overlap? You win a lot of games, but not the big ones. People are mad. Then you start losing one that isn't even the big one, and then it adds fuel to the fire. Anybody find any similarities? A guy at a legacy institution a long time wins a lot, but not enough of the right games, and the marriage starts to get rocky, and you're kind of there for the kids, but you're not really feeling it anymore, right? Here's my question with this. Franklin's over. We can't do this anymore. You're not paying him $50 million to go away. So is the only way he leaves because he chooses to leave and go to Florida or Arkansas or something? You're not paying the guy $50 million to go away when he averages 10 wins a year in the Big Ten. You're not. So the only way you're getting this divorce is if he chooses to go somewhere else. And maybe James Franklin is to the point where the marriage is getting stale. And now in his mind on the flight back from LA, he's thinking maybe I should sniff around that Florida job. The funny thing with Florida is all the Florida fans wanted to lose as many games as possible to fire their coach. And then they end up getting a big win. It's the funniest thing to me, right? When they want their guy gone, they get a big win. So what are you? This guy's he's still doing it. He's still doing it. All right, here's what I'm going to do. This is rare for me. This is very rare for me. I'm going to issue some grace here because this guy's lost it. He's gone off the deep end. And I'm not going to rail on him anymore. I'm going to give this guy a break. We've snapped. Like the young kids say, I'm having a crash out. This dude's clearly crashing out. He's clearly crashing out. We're going to give this guy some grace. This is you got to be in a different galaxy to type the things in here that he's typing. I'm not even going to give him a hard time. I'm not going to give him a hard time. We got to let this just ride. Let it ride. He's going through it, and he's just going to go ahead and go through the year, I guess. Freeman wishes he was Franklin, John. Just accept it. So let me get this straight. Marcus Freeman wishes he was the guy that he just beat in the playoff. Do I got that right? Do I have your theory right? That Freeman wishes he was the guy that he just beat in the playoff. Is that it? Is that the one? Marcus Freeman has more top 10 wins in 3.5 seasons than this guy has in 14 years. Do I got that right? He wishes he was that guy? He certainly, are you? Man, this is tough. I'm going to issue some grace here. We're going to let this guy do what he needs to do. But these are some unhinged takes. So I don't know what's going to happen. It would be very, very interesting if Penn State rose up and beat Ohio State right when everybody counts them out. That would be interesting to me. And then the Indiana game's going to be tough. And then what else do you have? They got Nebraska. Is that on the road later? That's going to be very interesting. Yeah, you know what I'm telling you right now? I don't think these teams that jumped in the Big Ten to make more money then get to complain that they got to travel a lot. Everybody in the Big Ten wanted all these teams to join so they all make more money and it's a national brand. Well, then you don't get to complain about the travel then. You don't. Listen, it's very clear to me what happened. Penn State never was able to get over the Oregon loss, and they carried it all the way to the West Coast, thought they could sleepwalk through this game and move on, and you realize too late you couldn't. It's the classic college football happening, you guys. It's the classic college football thing, like the week after a letdown, and how are you going to come back and all that, man? Clearly, they did not recover, and they thought you could roll the ball out in LA and win no matter what, keep it moving, and look to Ohio State on the schedule. And you learned that you couldn't. So I'm sorry, but anybody smart wasn't believing the Penn State hype all summer. So anyways, whatever. Just a hangover. We're looking forward to seeing Oregon again. You could see them playing in the Big Ten championship in the playoff. You'll see them again. You won't be playing them again. You'll see them again, but you ain't going to be out there against them. Why don't they give the ball to Katron Allen more? I don't understand it. He's very clearly the most explosive player Penn State has on offense, and he gets less carries than Singleton, and I don't understand. Is it because Juwan's on our side now? They don't know how to divide up the touches? I'm serious. We are winning the Big Ten. You have no wins in the Big Ten and are last. I don't think so. What? Maybe this guy just has been drinking ever since the game and never stopped. Anyways, okay, I got sidetracked by the Penn State guy. We got to get this thing on track. We'll skip the intro. I'm already 19 minutes in. We'll skip the intro. Hit subscribe. If you're going to do anything, go to Patreon and promo code CARB, all the film breakdowns, the chat, everything we got, Raw tonight, everything. So this is, you guys, I'm in a really good mood because Notre Dame did what they needed to do and won the game. Okay, won the game. And it feels like you won 4 games when you won 1 because of everything that happened around the country. Notre Dame got a big boost. There was a huge shift in those rankings. Those are my favorite weekends when Notre Dame gets the win and then a bunch of other goofy stuff happens and you move up a handful of spots. That it feels to me like Notre Dame won 3 to 4 games because you got that boost. And you're sitting at 16, and I can see 12 from where I'm sitting. But you got to do your part. All this talk about other teams, me making fun of this fan base or that media or this fan base, Notre Dame's got to take care of business. The way I'm looking at it is this is a super serious 2-game season for Notre Dame right now. I am tunnel vision on NC State and USC. Tunnel vision. After USC, Notre Dame hits their second bye off week, okay? And then you have a group of what should be manageable games to ride out the back half of the year. I do reserve the right to have anxiety about Notre Dame, a year 1 Notre Dame defensive coordinator defending Navy is always going to make me a little nervous, especially given what happened with Ash early in the year. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air, especially with what happened early in the year with Ash. I'm always going to have that anxiety defending Navy. I'm just saying, for now, where we sit in the short term, it's a 2-game season to get to that final bye off week and be able to relax and breathe, get healthier, and get ready for that final rush. You got to win these final 2 games. There must be a lot of belief in Notre Dame. 22.5-point favorite against NC State at home surprises me. I know it's a home game, but 22.5 seems like a lot in Notre Dame's favor. So I don't know what Vegas is seeing or people are betting for why or whatever. 22.5. I looked it up this morning when I was writing articles early. 22.5 seems like a lot. And the thing with NC State is they always seem to want to muddy up a football game, make it in the mud, make it on the line, physical, ugly battle type thing. Like they always want to make it. They want to make it like a dirty in the mud type game, a physical kind of muddy up the game is the best way to say it. 22.5-point favor for Notre Dame. So you got to take this serious, get that win, and then you look to USC. I have one more thing I want to touch on. Then we'll do the chats, get into the game, take your calls. Here's what I want to bring up. And this came up last night on YouTube with Goolsby and Hyde. Good show, by the way. Good show, by the way. Here's a question for the group. Should you, as a Notre Dame fan, sitting where you're sitting right now, should you want USC to beat Michigan, or should you want Michigan to go out there and beat USC? There's a couple different ways to argue this. One way to argue it is Notre Dame is going to be lacking top-end wins that get you a lot of respect against ranked teams or whatever. Like Notre Dame blew their chance early in the year against the 2 undefeated top 10 teams they have, right? So then the question is, should you want USC to win so that you have, like, they'll be ranked then beating Michigan. Michigan will have a second loss drop down, and then USC will pop in, and then you have ranked on ranked. As long as Notre Dame takes care of business against NC State, I'm not overlooking that. I'm just looking at the big picture. Then you would have ranked on ranked, and then if Notre Dame beat them, they have a ranked win there, and that would help their cause. That is one argument, okay? Coach Timmy Hyde brought up a different argument last night. He said, screw USC. I'm not worried about ranked on ranked or whatever. If Notre Dame gets in the clubhouse at 10-2, I think that they're going to be in the playoff, looking at what's happening around the country. To hell with USC. I want Michigan to go in there and play a physical, tough game, beat them up physically and mentally, win the game in their place, so that USC comes to town physically and emotionally beaten down for our game. Second loss, probably won't be ranked anymore, whatever. Then you got to go play Notre Dame. It's an interesting argument. It's an interesting argument. Hyde is saying, I don't think that it's going to matter that much. Yeah, if Notre Dame gets one ranked win against USC or whatever, and then he's saying, I would much rather Michigan beats up USC. They're emotionally and physically beat down before we play them. And then you figure Michigan's going to lose another game or two somewhere. They'll drop out. And then you catch USC down in the dumps, physically and emotionally beaten up. Adam says USC will quit on the season if they lose to Michigan. That's a part of it. One of the things culturally I've seen with USC past the Carroll era is when USC is hot and they're feeling themselves, they really ride momentum well. That's always been a thing with USC. When they're hot and they're feeling it, they get in a groove, that LA attitude, that LA swag comes out, and they're feeling themselves. They're bouncing around. You can see it. But when you get them down and when something bad happens, USC kind of sometimes checks out. And you could see it. You could see them kind of check out sometimes. And that's where you want to get them. So I understand both arguments. If you want USC feeling momentum, being ranked, coming off a big Michigan win or whatever, and you want them coming to town like that, fine. I understand you want a chance to get a ranked win. I get it. But I understand Tim Hyde's argument of a really physical, tough game in LA that and Michigan beats them. They're going to be down and they'll be physically and emotionally in a bad place coming to your place. I understand that. I understand people that want that. So that's in the eye of the beholder. But the key thing is none of it matters unless you beat NC State. And I'm not going to overlook it. 22.5 is a lot. That's a lot in this game for Notre Dame. So I don't know. We absolutely need USC to beat Michigan. I don't think you do. I'm starting to think you don't. I dare a committee to look at a 10-2 Notre Dame team that hasn't lost since the second week of the season and only lost to two really good teams by 4 points. I dare you to keep them out. That's the position I need Notre Dame to be in. Force that committee to look at a 10-2 Notre Dame and pick other teams. That's all you could do. You do not control your own destiny. You need to get in there with 10 wins and dare the committee to leave Notre Dame out. I also think it's notable that Notre Dame is the highest ranked second loss team. I think that's really important. Theoretically, if you're the highest ranked second loss team already and the teams that you need to win, Miami and A&M, have good seasons, that's a really, as far as bad places to be go, this is about as good of a bad place as you could be. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you're already in a bad spot. You're in the best bad spot you could be in, given you had 2 losses already. And you also got help, not only for teams losing and you moving up naturally, you also got help because the 2 teams you kind of want to win in a sick way in your stomach won. And that's Texas A&M, a game we gave away, and Miami, who genuinely earned the win and may be playing some of the best football in the entire country. Best D-line in America, I think Miami has. And so it was very uncomfortable, but you kind of wanted and needed Miami to win in A&M. And so they got those wins, and we're going to see what happens down the road. I'm just saying, Notre Dame needed a big shakeup in those rankings to kind of get situated in a little bit of a better position for whatever's coming. You got the help you needed. I am in a great mood. Notre Dame had such a successful weekend. Such a successful weekend with what we did and the help we got. I literally feel like we won 3 or 4 games, not one, because it was that big of a boost you got from everybody else. So when it comes to the actual game of Notre Dame and Boise, I'm really not going to complain that much. Very, very rare for me. I'm not going to complain much. When you have that choppy and sloppy of a game with that kind of officiating and all the BS and all the stoppages and the ridiculous penalties, and you tackle a guy and that's a penalty and all of this. Some of the penalties were legit sloppiness penalties on both sides, our side and their side, some of them perfectly legitimate. But an over officiated game that was choppy and sloppy. The offense, Carr didn't have his A game. He didn't have his 10 out of 10 game, wasn't the sharpest. And you ended up winning 28-7 with a team against a team like this. I really don't have anything to complain about. And that is rare for me. I saw people on Twitter mad with how this game went and we didn't score enough and all this stuff. You got to look at it for what it was. You got a game where your quarterback wasn't his sharpest. Everything was sloppy and weird with penalties, and you won by 3 scores. That's exactly what you want in a game like that, where the quarterback not having his A game didn't lose you the game or make it iffy till the very end, and all that weird officiating didn't cost you a game. And you could argue against A&M that it already did cost you a game with bad officiating, although Notre Dame earned that loss. Notre Dame earned that loss. Miami beat Notre Dame and deserved it. We handed A&M that football game. It was ridiculous, and it's still pissing me off. So now the best you could do is win 10 in a row. But I am not going to complain about this game. I was a little shocked to see the amount of complaints on Twitter. This game wasn't good enough. We needed to score 40, whatever, beat them by 30. What? I do not look at it that way, man. You got away with one. Your new quarterback finally had a little bit of an off day, which was bound to come somewhere in the schedule. And if he's going to have an off day, I'd rather it be against Boise when you win by 3 scores than a couple weeks against USC. I'm kind of glad it happened. Get it out of the way, right? And the other thing is, it's like Carr was off. Carr didn't have his A game or whatever. If his down game is just under 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, and we're all saying he was off and missed a bunch of stuff, sign me up for that. When his bad day is 0 interceptions and a couple touchdown passes, yeah, sign me up for that. I'm interested. So I really don't have that many complaints. And the big takeaway needs to be the Notre Dame defense. And the question that I have for you guys is, and then we'll get into the chats and the calls. Are you starting to believe in the Notre Dame defense? Are you starting to cool it on the fire on ash? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. That is an individual thing, but I'm asking, are you guys starting to believe in that in Notre Dame's defense? Have you seen enough from the second half of Purdue to the Arkansas destruction to 7 points at home against Boise? Are you starting to believe in that defense a little bit? Or here's what I think's fair. Do it the next 2 weeks, and then at the bye, I'll give you all the credit in the world, and I'll start to agree. That's kind of where I'm at. You're trending in the right direction. I really like it. Beat NC State with a good performance and then hold USC's offense down in score. And then I'm going to start saying maybe you're cooking here. Maybe you're cooking here. Somebody says they disagree with Carr. The deep ball touch has been an issue all year, whatever. It's just clear to me it was a little off. And it was a good week to be a little off. I'm not freaking out about it. CJ Carr is going to be fine. He's just going to keep getting better. And having a day like this, where it wasn't the sharpest, that's a part of the developmental arc of every first-year starting quarterback, whatever. That's a part of it. It was unrealistic to think CJ Carr was just going to ascend straight up the ladder 12 times in a row, right up, and never have a game that levels off or anything. I just think that you were going to have a game where it wasn't the sharpest and he missed a bunch of obvious stuff. Carr always late, too much air on the deep pass. The line gave him plenty of time. Yeah, I mean, he's a first-time starting quarterback. It's not perfect. But he's got to be a lot sharper to beat USC than he does Boise. So I like that if you're going to have an off one, make it now. I like that. So that's where I'm at. And God bless this Penn State guy. I hope he's okay. It's rough. Callers. All right. We got a good bank of callers. Let me do the super chats and then we'll get into them. Who had a worse weekend? The refs at our game or Mark Sanchez? The more of that story you read, the more it makes no sense at all. Like, the more you read the story and the more details there are, the less sense it makes. Did you see the old guy that he allegedly got in the fight with in the hospital? That guy's really beat up, huge gash through his cheek. The more you read about it, the more disturbing and less sense this story makes. USC, fight on, baby. Unbelievable. The roughing the passer was absolutely ridiculous. Here's the problem I have. You got to let guys play the game of football. And it's always been a physical game. And when you have a guy that tackles a guy or hits a guy, science says that the guy that hits him's body is probably going to fall. And it falls where it falls. I don't understand what you want a guy to do. Gravity's gravity. You got like a 300-pound guy. When he jumps and hits somebody, his body mass is going to fall somewhere. And if it happens to fall right on that guy, well, guess what? That's the game of football. I don't know what you expect these big 300-pound defensive guys to do when they hit a quarterback. What are they supposed to do? Wave a magic wand and magically their body, 300 pounds of weight with momentum, floats to the side and doesn't land on the quarterback? What do you want him to do? Son of a buck, let the guys play. Good for Freeman losing his mind on that. I don't know what you want the guy to do. Unbelievable. I don't know what you got to protect the quarterback. Whatever. You want to protect the quarterback against obviously egregious cheap shots at the quarterback. I'm with you on that mission. I'm with you on the mission of saving those quarterbacks from undue aggressive hits that are above and beyond. I'm all with you on that one. That's not what this was. This was making a play and a guy's body's going to land somewhere. I don't know what you want people to do. Tex ND. Moore is him on the defense. 6 targets, 2 interceptions. He's been getting a lot of national love. He's been getting a lot of national love since the ball game, and you need that guy to have an A-plus game against USC. Circle it, highlight it. I need that dude having this type of game against USC. Freaking Peacock game this week. I ate Peacock. Here's my take on the Peacock. I say it every year. You make it an option. You make it an option. If anybody wants to watch every Notre Dame game on Peacock, or they cord cut and they don't pay for regular cable and that's how they get the game, whatever, make it available to do that. Make it an option. When you force millions of people that are going to watch Notre Dame on TV to do this, just to do it because you want to sell your fledgling streaming service or whatever, then it comes off below Notre Dame to me. It comes off as not the class level I expect Notre Dame to operate at. It's such a cheapy thing to do. Well, you want to watch this game? Well, you got to do an extra step and pay for this. If you want to watch the game, we're holding you for ransom. I don't like it. You make it an option for people who prefer it, and for regular people, let them tune into NBC and yell at the TV like we've done for my whole life. Is it too much to ask that you could just put it on Channel 5 and yell for 3 hours? And then you got the lag, and then you got the buffering, and then you got the this and that. You make it an option. You don't make it a requirement, damn it. That's where I'm at. That is where I'm at. Unbelievable. Don't get me started on this. Is the phone line going to be choppy again today? After the other day when I had a choppy phone line problem, I did a little research, and the only thing I could come up with is the little 3-inch connecting cord between my mixer and my phone that connects to the phone lines. I call in on my cell phone to a host line, log into my show. The calls come through and into the mixer. There's a little 3-inch wire. The only thing I could think of is something went wrong with that wire. I go to Best Buy. I buy the exact same wire, a brand new one. I plug it in, and my iPhone says, we do not support this phone accessory. But the old one works. It's the exact same cord. What do you mean you don't support the accessory? I bought the exact same cord. What do you mean? How does the old one work? It's always something with the technology. Who knows how big my show would be if I just knew how to work the technology? You got to be Bill Gates Jr. over here just to have a radio shot. Why didn't anybody tell me Ellen DeGeneres calls plays for UCLA? Well, that's the best she's ever looked. If that's what happened, I'll tell you that right now. Unbelievable. Philly special. That Chris guy in the Ohio pod said he'd rather have Franklin as his coach than Freeman last night. What a clown. He is one of the few people in America that genuinely does not like Marcus Freeman. Does not like Marcus Freeman. It's unbelievable. All right, super chats, phone calls. $2 holler from Adam. Remember, it's Peacock time. It comes with my service, so I get it like with my package or whatever. So I'm not one of the people that has to pay extra just to get this game on Peacock, but I'm still going to complain about it. You make it an option. You don't make it a requirement. This is below Notre Dame to nickel and dime their fan base that they know are addicted to watching Notre Dame football, that you know you're going to make them all go over there and force millions of people to explore your streaming thing. That is below Notre Dame. It is. That is lower class level than I expect Notre Dame to treat their fans, to hold you for ransom unless you pay for this stupid thing. Make it an option, not a requirement. $5 holler from the rotate. Just like those 2-loss teams, you said a 2-loss team like ND shouldn't be considered for the playoff. All of a sudden they think 2 losses isn't that bad. Yeah, that's interesting how the perspective changes. RK Mango's $5 holler. I got some fun stats to share on the Notre Dame defense when I get on the air. Your defense is waking up, lights out, 402 Buckeye in the house. You got to be impressed when you got a Buckeye guy calling in with Notre Dame stats. $5 holler for the road tape. Day 289 since Penn State has beaten a Power 5 opponent. What's most interesting to me about the position Penn State and Texas find themselves in, were they not preseason ranked number 1 and 2? Here you are entering week 7 of the college football season. They were preseason 1 and 2. You find yourself entering week 7, neither one as a Power 4 win. They collected all of the wins they have against non-Power 4 opponents and have each lost the 2 real games they played. It's an unbelievable fall from grace. Pilney, $10 holler. Karma says Penn State beats OSU in the Franklin Job Bowl, and then they really are stuck with them. I'm telling you, it would be the most college football-ish thing of all time for everyone to bury Penn State and Franklin, totally count them out, and then they surprise Ohio State. It would go against all of the 4-21 record and all of the history, all of it. Right when you count them totally down and out, watch it happen. Pilney, $10 holler again. When an ugly win is 28-7 and he's headed in the right direction, the defense improvement is the biggest improvement storyline of the year, 100%. I think that offense is going to be fine. Carr's going to get better. I want to see if you're able to maintain the defensive momentum. That's what I want to see. $20 holler from Sully. John, this was a get-right game for us. It showed we can make the necessary adjustments on D and prove the offense that they don't have to carry the burden of winning alone. It was a great showing. Go Irish. Yeah. Listen, after the first 2 weeks, I feel like all we could ask for is increment. That defense was operating from such a low spot that after the first 2 weeks, all you could really ask for is incremental steps of improvement on the defensive side of the ball. You're getting way more than that. The bar was so low. The realistic thing to hope for from the low spot we were in is, can you just get a little damn better each week? They're doing a lot more than that. They're doing a lot more than that. That is the storyline now. You got to give them credit. $5 holler from Matt. What are the details for the USC tailgate? My son and I are coming up from Tennessee. Here are the details. Combo tailgate with the Notre Dame Alumni Club of Orange County. So this is all the Notre Dame grads that live in LA. They're coming back, hosting a tailgate. It is not in a parking lot. It is east of Touchdown Jesus in the quad. So I'm not in the north lot. Like, you're not going to find me in the parking lot with all the porta potties or whatever. This is in an actual quad on campus. And I believe is one of those tent setups the university sets up. When you do an alumni event, they help you with that. So I think it's going to be a gated or tented area, fenced in or tented area. And we'll be there from 12 till the game. Catered Portillo's, music, drinks, the whole thing. It's free for Always Irish people. So if you go there, look for me. Or if you don't, there's someone at the front. You just tell them I'm with John. I'm with Always Irish. Come on in. I'll be there probably from noon till right before game time. I'm hopping in the car, watching the game on YouTube TV for the drive back, and I'll be here to take your calls after the game. It's going to be a long day for Johnny Boy, but I don't care. It's Notre Dame USC, damn it. Son of a buck. Messed up my camera. We got a lot of energy today. I don't know what's happening. A lot of energy. $10 holler from MJHH, Irish HMJ. $10. Like the prodigal son. Butcher the fattest calf and put rings on their fingers. The D was lost, but now they are found. I hope they stay found. I hope they stay found, or my mind's going to be what's lost. The defensive improvement is the story of all this. Carr's going to keep getting better. I don't have a worry about that. Carr's going to keep getting better. He is. I don't worry about that. The defensive improvement here is the key thing to all this. I'm telling you, I was expecting the most you're going to get. Incremental improvement week to week, digging yourself out of the A&M, how bad that looked or whatever. You're doing a lot more than incremental improvement right now, and it deserves credit. Can you do it again? Can you do it again? Can you build on that confidence against NC State and gear up for that stupid-ass USC offense? Son of a buck, you know what I mean? All right, we'll take a little break. The rest of the show is going to be for your calls. Every dollar matters when you run a club, bar, restaurant, or country club. Lost tabs, slow payments, and walkouts cut into your profits fast. That's why venues trust the citycheers app. With citycheers, guests can receive promo details for your upcoming events and open and close their tabs right from their phones. Payments are instant. Your walkouts will drop. And your team saves time with fewer card runs and less hassle for everybody involved. Managers get real-time reporting and transaction tracking so you know exactly what's happening on the floor from sales to staff performance. Servers can handle more tables with less effort, boosting check averages and increasing their tips. And when your staff works smarter, not harder, morale goes up, service speeds up, and turnover goes down, creating a smoother, more profitable operation every single night. Protect your profits, empower your team, and simplify your business with citycheers. This app is built for venues that want to win. So if you're ready to take your business to the next level, call friend of the show and loyal Notre Dame son, Tom Frawley, at 773-332-7742 today. Be sure to tell him Always Irish sent you. Chicago's very own. God, I love Tom Frawley. And I love the energy here. Good morning, crowd, by the way. We were up to 250 a little bit ago. That never happens on a Monday morning. Omar, John looking so handsome. Omar, I'll take it, baby. Give it to me. I'll take it. I will take it. Let's start with the mouth in the South. It is Bruce.
John, what's going on?
Oh, man, I'm just glad you're here. You had me thinking I had a phone issue again. I was about to blow my stack.
No. I had the mute button on, and then I looked down. I'm like, oops, because I'm going through the mixer right now. First thing I wanted to say, real pet peeve of mine, man, you don't have a problem with your wire. It's a cable. The wire is the metal strands that carry the signal inside the cable. Not a wire, it's a cable.
Listen up, Bill. Listen up, Bill Gates. What do you think? I work for the Geek Squad over here? Give me a damn break. Unbelievable. What do you expect for me, man? I'm an IT Neanderthal. I am an IT Neanderthal. Just give me the right wire.
I got you.
Unbelievable. Why don't you come? No, why don't you take a trip from Jacksonville over to the suburbs here in Chicago and come in my basement and figure it out, Bruce?
Yeah, I need to do that, man. I do need to come back out there. No, by the way, apologies, man, for calling the wrong number and interrupting the show the other day. I literally had to go in after that and separate the show's phone number from your contact.
Yeah.
So now that's not going to happen anymore because I separated them out.
That happens. It's funny when it happens regularly. Tom Frawley does it too when he gets excited. So I'm just glad you guys want to call. Bruce, there's a lot going on in the world of college football. What do you make of this weekend, man? There's a lot.
All right, so I'm going to run through this as quickly as I can. One, I'm so tired of Big Ten people, including the mainstream sports media, complaining about the teams from out west having to travel. Notre Dame's been doing it for a damn century, and that was way before private jets and all that. So they can shut the hell up. I don't want to hear it. I'm so sick of that. So that's one. Two, James Franklin has to go. He's done because, you said it all. And the other point was, and you touched on this as well, people were all in on them because they used the Michigan and Ohio State models, which have won the last two national championships.
Now I got to push back on you. I got to push back. I've seen that argument before. Here's the difference.
Right.
Each of those teams you referenced had won some big top 10 games before the year they won the championship. This was different when you have a coach that has a 4-20 record against the top 10. Each of those schools at least had some experience with their coach of winning those games before the year they ended up winning it all. That's a big difference to me.
John, I agree with you. I'm just telling you why they were saying what they were saying and why they were jumping on the bandwagon. That's their argument, but I agree. Next onto Notre Dame more specifically. As always, I was a little nervous after the 0-2 start, but if you remember, just like last year, I'm saying calm down. It's going to be fine. Things are going to shake out. Notre Dame's going to get it together, and it's going to be all right. Because now, as you said, I'm not going to say sitting pretty, but like you said, you can see 12 and 12 is not that far out of reach. And who knows, it could be top 10 by the end of this thing as these teams above stabilize one another, right? Because the mighty SEC, I think they have 9 teams in the top 14. Most of those teams got to play one another. So, you get some chaos up there, you get things happening. It's going to be all right for the Irish, as you said, as long as they handle business. As long as we handle business, it's going to be all right. I will say this, though. I'm happy to see the defense rounding back into shape. I'm gaining more and more confidence, and I'm really happy to see that this week they had 4 interceptions. They're starting to get that turnover thing going, and as you mentioned, it's kind of contagious, right? You start getting those turnovers, and they keep coming.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, before the season started, that was one of my biggest concerns is how are they going to manufacture these extra possessions by losing some key guys who were such turnover creators, right?
Yeah.
So I was glad to see that start happening because, and Marcus Freeman talked about this ad nauseum last year, you win that turnover battle. As any coach knows, you win that turnover battle, you have an outstanding chance of winning the game. It's like 80-something%. So really happy to see that. Also, to see Notre Dame as a team with the defense rounding back into form, because could you imagine, it obviously didn't work this way, but could you imagine this offense with last year's defense?
Yeah,
they would have won the national championship, right?
Yeah, it's really frustrating,
right. So
Bruce. It's so frustrating. You're waiting for the year where Notre Dame has it all in the right direction. Like an offense that can run the ball and throw it and a top 10 defense. You're waiting for it all to line up. We've been waiting for it for 30 years.
Right. And if obviously big if and long way to go, but if the defense keeps developing, playing the way it's capable of playing, a lot of talent back there, and the offense can continue to keep rolling, you might really be dangerous because now that ability for opposing defenses to stack the box, that's going to be gone because you got CJ Carr as a major threat pushing the ball downfield, as we've talked about. It's really good to see. I'm very confident. I believe they're going to run the table. But, again, We just got to see and wait, and above us, things are going to continue to happen. So that's awesome.
True.
The only complaint I have, John, is that we need still more pressure from the front four, although we did get some more of that this week. And a big part of that was being able to stop the run.
That's a fair complaint,
Boise State, I think
that's a totally fair
Notre
complaint.
Dame was 44th nationally, against the run. But they looked a lot better against a very run-heavy team. And then you stop the run, you force them into throwing the ball, and you do to them what teams have been doing to us for years and years. So if that can continue to go, and we got to find a game wrecker off the edge that can consistently get pressure on the quarterback. Those are my thoughts, John. Thanks so much for taking my call. I'll take it offline and listen to your response on
Bruce,
that, man.
it's great to hear from you, man, and continued success with your own channel and growing everything you have there, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Have a great one.
Have a good one. Oh man, it's not every day Barry White calls in on the line. I appreciate it. I love it. Let's keep it moving. 386 in the mix. What's going on in Florida?
Hey, John, it's Tyler. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I got to tell you, I don't know what I drank the normal amount of coffee today, but I'm really energetic. Like, I feel like Notre Dame won 3 or 4 games, not one this weekend. You got a lot of help you needed. If you wanted to have any hope to position yourself for backing into this playoff, I feel like Notre Dame won 3.5, 4 games this weekend, not one. How do you think?
I think it's a good way to put it. What I think is important to look at here is after the, very difficult 0-2 start, it's kind of easy for the minds to wander, whether the staff or the players to think like, okay, how good are we? What can we do here? After a weekend that we just had and kind of an off performance by us, but all of the losses that occurred around us, which is just going to continue to keep happening, I think that's going to refocus us and re-energize us in a way, like knowing that all this chaos will continue to happen. I think that we could be dangerous. It's a 2-game season right now. Let's get through NC State and USC. But I think everybody just looks at this and sees, okay, everything is still in front of us. We just got to take care of business.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, this is why you love college football, is all of these swings, man, from totally down in the dumps to kind of having hope to having full hope. And now you're back. It's a 2-game season. Do you agree? Like right now, NC State, USC get to that final bye week, and then you're in a great spot. Like I'm looking at this as a 2-game mega season right here.
This is it. You get to that second bye, 5-2. You've got 5 games left. You're in the home stretch of that. You're going to be heavily favored in all those games.
Yep.
And even after the difficult start, which let me say this, the 2 teams we lost to are 10-0. We lost to them by a combined 4 points. You're not going to hang your hat on losses, but I think when you stack up the 12 games against every other team, there's just such a high probability now that we're just going to be just fine. And it's crazy to think that 2 to 3 weeks ago was the exact opposite. We had no idea. But I think everything's lining up just perfectly for us to sneak in there or, be solidly in. So it's going to be very interesting coming down the stretch.
It really is. And the other part of it I was thinking about, however this is going to end, whether Notre Dame gets in the playoff or you end up losing another one or just be intended to, but they keep you out, whatever it is. A lot of people didn't have this year as being the year for Notre Dame. They were looking at the next year or 2. I also think about the developmental lessons Carr has learned through this journey already. Painful in the moment, how to deal with painful losses and this and that. Like that guy's going to be so much better starting next year than he is now. Like it's a big learning curve too. And he's doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah. And you look at how he entered Miami and then the Texas A&M game, he was never the issue. He is he's stepping into that, even though he's not a captain, leadership role. He's got that leadership energy out there. I mean, when he's scrambling and he's making these little pump fakes, making defenders miss, he is just a gamer, and it really feels like the whole team is kind of rallying around that. There is a clear leader at QB at Notre Dame, and it is just so refreshing to see. And you're right. Everything that he's experienced this year, Adam Dowling said it at the tailgate. Nobody wants to talk about it, and we still got a long way to go in this season, but next year when CJ's got all this experience under his belt, dude, it's just exciting to have a QB solidified for once, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And you know what I want to just bake in the equation for next year? You need to take some NIL money, put it aside, go get the next Malachi Fields out of the portal and tease them the highlight tape that Carr's going to have and say, don't you want to come? Go get another one of those guys and allocate another $1 million to go into the portal and getting a monster defensive lineman to plug in there. That I need that to be a part of the offseason equation for Notre Dame.
Yeah, 100%. And what a great pickup Malachi Fields has been. He has been such a great player for us.
Yep.
Man, I'm finally happy they threw a fade to him in the end zone. It's just so easy. The guy's so tall, just throw it up.
Dude, isn't that refreshing when you could just back a guy up like getting a basketball rebound and know you got a big body guy that if you throw it up there anywhere in a radius, he's going to grab it and win that battle. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. And it helps when Carr is just so pinpoint accurate with something like that. But it goes back to the last couple of weeks. We started to win a few games, right? We knew Carr was eventually going to have an off game, he missed a couple wide open throws this weekend, and we still handily took care of business. So if that's going to be his off game, what was he, 15 to 23 for almost 200 with 2 touchdowns, no picks?
Yep.
If that's going to be his off game, this ceiling is just incredibly high.
Sign me up.
It's just so awesome.
Okay, now let's flip this over to the other side. I'll be totally honest. This defense is outperforming my expectations, which were in the gutter after 2 weeks. I was saying maybe incremental improvements, the most you're going to get. They've improved a lot more than that. What do you make of it, man? Are you buying back in? Is the heat cooling on Ash, in your opinion? Or wait, talk to me after we defend USC. Let's see how that goes. Where are you at?
I think it's fair to say that it's cooling a little bit. We took for granted that this is a new system, new team. Ash could say all he wants, we're not going to change it. He has his own defensive philosophies, and Freeman hired him for a reason. I just didn't think that Freeman didn't think it would take this long to adjust. But you can see the guys playing a little bit more free now, a little bit more with an attacking mindset. It seems like they're simplifying things a bit to where our athletes can just go do what they do, and that's be athletes and play fast. So I'm seeing guys come downhill, Tay Johnson, Adon Schuler, Bowen, Snead, KVA. They're coming downhill just like they did last year. They're playing with aggressiveness. And I think those are the major changes that I'm seeing, which is opening everything up. So I don't know. I think the cooling on Ash is definitely warranted. But let's see how these next 2 games go. You get to 5-2, you got a legitimate shot.
Yeah, especially when you look at what's on the back part of that schedule. There are some tricky spots like Navy, whatever. Like you have the history with BC, Navy. I know people think Pitt's going to be tricky. Yeah, and Stanford is just garbage. And then Syracuse it would have been interesting with Angeli. Now they're falling apart without him. But it's a 2-game season right now. NC State, any way you can get the win, and then USC. It's just good to be able to have some juice, man. You're not dead yet. You're making a little rise here. You got to keep it going. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for touching base and always being here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Good opening to the show. Love the Penn State crash out, especially just considering all the talk in the offseason. That was just I'm never really rooting for a team to lose unless it's Michigan or SC. But to see Penn State's now entering that category for me, just all that we listen to, and the best part about all of it is the Orange Bowl. They can talk all they want, but we just go back to what happened in the Orange Bowl, and it's just so great to see.
Yeah,
and Franklin being so synonymous with Kelly, it's just the best.
You know what stands out to me, man? Do you remember in the pregame press conference to that playoff game where Franklin tried to kind of big brother Freeman a little bit and kind of it came off in a weird way, and he was talking down to him in a way I'm more accomplished than you are, little man, or it came off a very awkward way. Freeman didn't take the bait. It pissed him off, but he took the high classy road and got the win where it mattered. He's easy to not like, man. He's easy to not like. I'm sorry. I'm glad it's Penn State's problem.
Yep, 100%. And it just makes you even that much more thankful for Freeman and how he carries himself, how he acts, how he coaches his players, how he talks to the media. He's got it rolling right now. So let's finish this season off the right way and get into that playoff again. That's the goal. And I think he's got this team laser focused on it, just like what you said in the opening. Laser focused on it.
Yeah.
So good call. Good chat, Johnny.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, buddy. Have a good start to the week.
Yep, you too.
See ya. I like that, how he said good call. He's the one calling. He's the one who made it a good call. I'm just the dummy answering my phone when the wire works. Son of a buck. Throw some NIL at Price and Heisman hype video. I've seen this debated. Who was it? One of the legacy media outlets had a discussion about this. I think it was John Bryce with Football Scoop. And he was talking about, you're going to lose Love to a top 10 draft pick. Nothing you can do about it. Good for him. Price, there's wiggle room there. You're going to have to offer the guy a lot of money, tell him he's the number one back, but we're also not going to run you in the ground where it degrades your carry. You know how they always say running backs have a set amount of hits and carries, whether it's the pro or college game. So you tell him you could be the number one guy, raise your draft stock. We're not going to run you in the ground, but you're going to be the number one guy. Throw him a boatload of money, and then he becomes the one, and you have younger guys behind him as the two. That's the other reason it would just be really nice to make the playoff while you have this great 1-2 punch. That really would hurt if you didn't make the playoff when you had the two best running backs in tandem in America. So it's rough, man. 740 has not called us in a half a year. What's going on, 740?
How we doing, John?
Doing very, very well. Thanks for waiting on hold. And we haven't talked since early March. There's a lot that's gone on. What's on your mind, my friend? Welcome.
Yeah, it's tough to call in. My work schedule doesn't normally allow me to.
It's like sometimes I forget. God forbid it's a Monday and at 10 o'clock and people have lives and work. How dare you?
Yeah. But hey, I was calling. I wanted to say we're going a little hard on old Big Game James. You know, people are talking about, oh, now he loses the small games. I mean, I know UCLA didn't lead a single second of any game this season, and I know they lost by 25 points in New Mexico, and I know their offensive coordinator didn't know how to use his headset. But that game was in the Rose Bowl, so it's at least big game adjacent.
Well, I mean, why?
So
just wait. How is it big game adjacent when you're playing a team that hasn't won a game yet? Just because it's in a fancy building in LA with no clouds makes it a big game adjacent?
Yeah, it's a little tongue-in-cheek there.
Like, well, wait a second. Now, wait, though. Maybe you could argue it was kind of a big game because how you bounce back after devastation is kind of a big deal. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're joking about it, but if you really do look at it that way, how you bounce back after a huge emotional letdown like they suffered it at the hands of Oregon, that does kind of make it a big moment. I'll give them that.
I could see that if they were playing like Michigan State.
Yeah, bro, I missed your sarcasm. I missed your sarcasm. That's my fault. That's a big error on the host of the show. I missed that one. I'm mad at myself.
Yeah. I mean, UCLA went from not leading a single second of any game this season to leading the entire game against Penn State, the alleged top 10 Penn State contender for a national title. They're paying $10 billion to their coaching staff. They bring back everybody, and they didn't lead a single second against a team that hasn't led a single second in any game this season. Yeah.
You know who the two big winners of this are? I'm going to tell there's two groups here that are the big winners. One is Ellen DeGeneres, a.k.a. that new Heisel kid. Good for that guy. Blondie over there pulling out all the stops, calling all the winning plays. And his dad was like in that main announcer booth for the main TV station. So the dad kind of got to be involved. Rick, so new Eisel Jr. there, Blondie, he's a big winner. And you know who else I feel good for? The 300 UCLA fans that showed up to that home game, damn it. They got what they deserved. God bless those few hundred people that showed up to that game to root on the home team.
Yeah, they rushed the field and there was like 11 people there.
There's more security guards guarding the rush on the field than there were people rushing the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I love it.
But to Notre Dame, you asked the question earlier about whether we'd rather the Michigan come in beat up, or not Michigan, USC come and beat up from Michigan.
Yeah, what do you make of it?
We'd rather see them beat Michigan and come in, on top of their game. I want to see them as high as they can be. Like, I don't think Notre Dame needs a depleted shell of themselves version of USC to win that game. I want them coming in with a national narrative being like, Lincoln Riley figured it out. They beat Michigan. They handled Michigan's dominance. USC's back. They have a chance to run the table and be, a second or third Big Ten team in the playoff. And then they come into South Bend and just get their doors blown off. That is my ideal scenario. I want to see them beat Michigan because anytime you see Michigan lost, that's a bonus too. And then it gives us bonus points because we're facing a now good USC team that's probably going to have some national hype, that'll probably be ranked. And if we beat the brakes off of them, like I hope we do, like we did when they brought Caleb Williams in the South Bend, that's a plus in my book.
Yeah, it is. I understand it. So maybe the best argument would be you want a very physical, tough Michigan-style football game against USC where it's real physical and brutal and bruising and all that, like the Michigan DNA, how they want to play football. You want all that. And then maybe USC squeaks it out, but they have a physical cost to pay for that. So then Michigan drops with their second win. USC gets the win and would be ranked when you play them, but they're coming in physically a little beat down from a physical Michigan Big Ten style game. Maybe that's the right blend. I don't know.
That would be good, yeah. But I don't know. I'm not rooting for them to be any less than 100% of themselves when we play them because I think this Notre Dame team can beat USC at 100%. I think we'll dominate them in the trenches.
The defense, man. I am confident Notre Dame will be able to move the ball on them. It's all about that defense. Are you going to play the kind of defense you're starting to play, or are you going to have a regression when you face a team that could throw it all over? Like, I don't know. And again, I don't even feel comfortable talking like this before we play NC State, 22.5-point favorite, Trappy McTrapperson game. You got to make sure you take care of them too.
For sure. Definitely worried about stressed about every game. And definitely stressed about NC State.
It's the life of a Notre Dame fan, bro. It's the life of a Notre Dame fan. There is never a time, like, for as much as we love this and it's a part of our lives and we build our entire fall around the Notre Dame schedule, there's never a moment it's relaxing. You ever tune in before a Notre Dame game all relaxed, ready to watch your team play? Never. It's never relaxing, but we love it. We love that adrenaline, the anxiety adrenaline of Notre Dame. I'm addicted to it.
Yep. I'm stressed every game.
Yeah, it's that's the way of life. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for calling, man. Maybe once every 6 months. Make it more regular.
Yeah, I'll try to. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem, man. Have a good start to the week. Thanks for hitting me up. Really appreciate it. That's a good call to hear somebody from 6 months ago. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. I got a 402 and some regular customers after that. John, kicker is a problem again. Bro, can I tell you something? I about lost my damn mind thinking about this kicking situation. Last night, I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking about it. And it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but like you had the nightmare. It wasn't even really the kicker, but a kicking nightmare against A&M that was a part of why you lost. Then you had this situation. Bro, why do Notre Dame kickers seem to get hurt more than other kickers? I don't understand. Do we need to do more groin stretches or what? I don't understand. Why are Notre Dame kickers prone to having these issues? What do you stretch out your groin? What are you going to do, some kegels or what? Why in the hell does Notre Dame kickers seem to have this problem? You got to get in there with the thigh master or something to make sure your legs are. What are you doing? It's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. Why do you keep having this issue with the kickers? And then you better. Here's one thing good about it. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to flip it. Here's some good news, Suzanne Summers. Step by step, day by day, day by day. Bro, Cody was the truth on that. Whoa, dude, Dana. Hey, come on. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Suzanne Summers, step by step. Cody was legit, man. Whoa, Dana. Hey, I live in a van in the driveway. Dana, whoa. I love that show. By the way, good, wholesome family entertainment. Literally, good storylines about how to be a good person and family dynamics, not a bunch of trash like's on now. Kids would be a lot better off now if you watch more Step by Step and Boy Meets World and that kind of thing instead of this trash that's on now. Let Mr. Feeney talk to you about life. Anyways. Here's my positivity about the kicking problems Notre Dame has. Makes it real easy to have 4 downs instead of 3. Think about it. If we're going to flip this from a negative to a positive, if you got all these problems with your kicker, it makes it a lot easier for Freeman and Denbrock to be like, we have 4 downs. When you're in a certain part of the field, no. You have 4 downs to figure this out, not 3. Because kicking a long field goal isn't even really on the menu, bro. It's not even on the menu. So I kind of like that in a way. But if you're in a game where you need a field goal or whatever, you might be screwed. But I like that it kind of forces your hand when you're at a certain point in the field to know we have 4 downs, not 3 to get a first down. And maybe even in the red zone or whatever, you're going for it. So I don't know, man. But it's really frustrating. I mean, geez, give me a break. All right, I got a big question here. I got a major question. I have seen this on Twitter a million times. Joffrey Lannister was the OC for UCLA. Who in the hell is Joffrey Lannister? Who in the hell is that? Who is that? Kevin McAllister? Who is Jeffrey Lannister? What does that mean? I've seen a million people tweet that. Who is that? Game of Thrones? What even is that? I have no idea what the Game of Thrones is. I don't even know. Is that one of them Dragon World things? I have no idea what that even means, bro. No idea what that means. Jeffrey Lannister. Never heard of Kevin McAllister. I've heard of him. I have no idea. He was the evil king. I never watched it. Whatever. Is that a movie or a TV show? I never watched it. Topanga's still hot. Telling you what, bro. Topanga was legit. And Kelly Kapowski, baby. And that one girl on Hey Dude. Melanie on Hey Dude was pretty good too. I remember that in 2nd grade. Woo, baby. I'm telling you what. I like the energy of this show today. Game of Thrones. It's just a game. Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, it's all the same to me. It's kind of like Star Wars, Star Trek. Once you get into nerd intergalactic battles, it's all the same to me. Nerd stuff. How come I've just never heard like the cool athlete in school or whatever that loves Star Trek. Like, I've just never heard of like the cool dude and he loves Star Trek. I never heard it. It's always the nerds. Anyways, I don't watch a lot of TV, man. I don't watch a lot of TV. I just don't. Let's get Martinez in and out of work. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, hey, John, what's up, buddy? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. I'm just in a good mood, man. Things are looking up for Notre Dame. I'm in a good mood.
We should. You should be. Hey, quick fun fact. The old main man is a nerd, bro. Like, I'm a Trekkie, brother. I'm a Trekkie.
Yeah. Whatever, man. It's whatever floats your boat. Once you start flying through galaxies into another planet, it's all the same to me. Once you leave our atmosphere, I don't know the difference of what planet you're on and whose side you're on. I don't understand it. I'm not smart enough.
Yeah, so here the cool dude is a Trekkie, man. But the cool dude is, yeah, we should be happy about a lot of things, man. Right? College football gave us a hand, right, with UCLA and some of the other teams going down. But you know what I mean? Ghouls and Tim said it best too, and we all, you know, and Andrew and me and you and a few other guys on the chat knew that. Yeah, it was Boise State, but they beat a good, gritty Boise State, right? Our defense looked good against a good, gritty Boise State that has a winning tradition culture, because call it what it is, that team has a winning tradition, John, right?
Indeed.
Are you there? Can you hear me? Am I too loud?
Nope, I got you.
Oh, okay. And so it was good, and man, and you said it best right now. Glad that CJ had an off day against this team rather than Navy or down the season where we're close to stealing that playoff spot, and heaven forbid something, you know, doesn't go our way and we have a catastrophic mistake and we don't get in, right?
Yeah, it's you got to win them all, man. You're 10 in a row, baby.
Yeah, and so let me touch on this, and I'll let you know. I'll get out of here. Hey, like I said, we are the Irish, dude. You know, one of the biggest brands in the world when it comes to sports, period. 10-2, we're in regardless. You know what I mean? Especially with the 2 losses we have, and you know what I mean. Bruce said it best. We've been saying it for years. You know, the Irish travel across the country. They've been doing it for years. It was good to see. You know, it was good to see Penn State lose, man. Although I did feel a little bad about Franklin because he's with his wife, man, and you get these fans like talking some crazy shit to him. Oh, sorry, John.
No,
I'm like, dude,
no. That was not his wife. It's his daughter, I think.
Oh.
That awkward looking girl that comes out there whenever he loses. That's his daughter, and she's always out there. And you just, on a human level, you do feel bad because she always hugs him, and then he walks somewhere where everybody's like, "Boo, you suck." But I give her credit; she's always right there. That's his daughter. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's even worse, man. That's even worse.
Yeah.
Those are scumbag fans. Those are scumbag fans. John, you can hear a mouse fart in Notre Dame Stadium if the team's not playing good. You've been in there when the team, and you don't know what's going to happen. You can hear a mouse fart. That says something about how intense our fans are. But never like that, man.
Yeah.
That's some scumbag shit. But you know what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, man, I'm just whatever. I'll take the move up the rankings at Penn State's expense. Thank you.
Yeah. You're a girl dad. I'm a girl dad, so that's why, you know, that it's whatever. But no, John, great win. Like I said, man, I think it took our defense, whatever Marcus did and whatever adjustments they made, 5 games into the season, halfway through the college football season, because it really is week 6. We're going into week 7. Let's not overlook NC State, man, because they've always played us tough too. We've just always been able to find a way against them as well, man. So let's not look past that. I'm excited for the rest of the week, man, and the show and what the rest of the guys got to say, man. But hey, man, great win against Boise State, man. Great win, and it looks like it's finally coming together. But I think that this defense is definitely going to elevate week in and week out, John. Hey, John, I love you, buddy. It's loud, man. So onward, Notre Dame. We'll talk to you later on.
Have a good week, buddy. Thanks for checking in as always. Oh, Kent's here. Here's my take. Notre Dame has just Boise State basically an FCS team. ND did what they were supposed to do, win the game. ND isn't hitting their stride, nor is the defense back. You played nobody. There goes Kent to bring us back to reality. Kent, in case you missed it in the first part of this show, here's the thing, man. You guys got to make Kent, I'm talking directly to you through the internet. Kent, you guys need to make sure you don't slip up and let Penn State beat you. Earlier in the show, when you weren't here, we talked about they're down and out. Everybody's buried Franklin and Penn State. The whole nation's coming down on them. Terrible, horrible, gotta have a divorce, whatever. The most college footballiest thing of all time is everybody counts them as dead and they somehow beat Ohio State. You have got to make sure that doesn't happen and that they get that third loss and they're done. So you got to make sure. It would be the most college footballiest thing of all time. The entire nation dumps on Penn State and Franklin nonstop. And then he ends up beating Ohio State right when everyone's given up and no one's a believer anymore. No one's defending him anymore. Nobody's writing those articles and doing those shows. That would be the time for them to rise up and beat Ohio State. So Kent, you just got to make sure from your end that you guys don't let that happen, bro. Omar, I got a question about this. 402 coming up. While I don't understand all of the intergalactic Star Wars, space adventures, Star Trek, it's all the same to me. Galaxy weird stuff. The Sopranos, I understand. Now, there is a program John could process in his brain. I get the concept. Are we all to believe something really, really bad happens to Tony and then it cuts to black and that's how it ends? Am I with you guys that like that's what you take from the ending of The Sopranos is that some John F. Kennedy stuff happened and that was it? And you just didn't see it? Is that the take, or does anybody have any other takes of how that all ended? It just felt like some JFK activity you didn't see on the screen, bro. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Dude, you're talking about spoilers. Didn't that show end like 20 years ago? Isn't there a statute of limitations on when you can do spoilers? I think 20 years after the show ends. If you didn't watch it by now, you probably weren't going to, bro. I'll say this. My all-time favorite, like, TV show, like, drama, it's Breaking Bad by a wide margin. The drama of all that. Dr. John, good to see you. I got to say, Breaking Bad's probably number one for me. And I don't know if that's cliche or lame or whatever. That's one of the only shows I ever remember being like, you got to watch it every week. You got to watch it every week. And it went through a slow season or two that built and laid some foundation. And that was before that show was on, before I had like DVR and you could record everything. That's how long ago that show started. I didn't even have like DVR on my TV or whatever then. It was literally like, you cannot miss this show. I think it was Sunday nights for a while. You got to watch that Breaking Bad. Like, that was number one for me. The drama, the way they made you love and hate the bad guy. How he had both sides. The brilliance in it was making you feel compassion for the guy that's doing bad things, but you still kind of wanted him to win. They walked that line perfectly. 402, we're talking to you. What do you want to do?
Good morning, John 402 Buckeye in the house. How you doing on this fine Monday morning?
I'm in a good mood. I got a lot of energy. I'm feeling like Notre Dame's on the rise. You got some help around the country. Your defense starting to play better. I'm in a good mood. I feel like Notre Dame won about 3.5 games this weekend, not one. How do you feel?
Well, I'm going to be honest with my work schedule. They have me on night shift at night, on Saturday. So I slept. I'm not able to watch much Notre Dame games. However, I'm still paying attention. And something I do want to touch up about the defense. The defense is the biggest question in Notre Dame. And with these stats I want to share with you. So when it comes to Boise State, let's look at first off the interceptions. 4 interceptions. That right there is a feat in itself. And also you guys been doing the interceptions, not consistently, but throughout the season. I think you had 2 against Purdue. You guys are winning the turnover battle, on all fronts. With that being said, Notre Dame was only able to, now get this, 24 minutes and 14 seconds of offensive possession. That's less half a football game. And then you guys are able to put 4 touchdowns with that, with 2 from CJ Carr and 1 from Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. You guys are looking really good. You guys are looking really, really good on the defense. Boise State only 35 minutes of 46 seconds of offensive possession, and they're only to score 7 points. You guys are, and also Notre Dame held Boise State 2 out of the 3 plays on 4th down. you guys are really starting to wake up on defense. I'm starting to see it now. So with all that being said, I do have a question for you, John. From the beginning of the season with Chris Ash, and now you're seeing this starting to formulate more of a solid unit. What is your opinion so far of what it's going to look like from here to the rest of the season? Will they be a top defense, or will they still be middle of the table defense? What are your thoughts?
I reserve the right to see what it looks like against USC, right? Like you're trending in the right direction. Okay, rough start. You're trending in the right direction. You're taking more than incremental steps. You're making real strides defensively week to week. Okay. But USC is that big test. And we're going to learn whether this 7-point output against Boise is just because they're not good or don't have the horses. I want to see what it looks like against USC. Are you going to be able to hold down the score of that offense that can whip the ball around? And that was a problem for us early in the year. I want to see that. And if Ash puts together a winning defensive effort against USC, you will then have a decent body of work of them improving and getting by USC, setting you up for the back half of this schedule, which is a lot lighter. Then I'm likely to say, dude, this is really impressive. But I want to wait till I see that game.
You know, with NC State coming up, these guys are on a downturn right now. They lost to at home Duke, and then they lost at home to Virginia Tech, and they went against Campbell, which is called the Fighting Camels. I never heard this football team before. But they're 4-2. The only quality win they have is against Virginia, and Virginia quality win was only against Florida State. And we're seeing how Florida State's on a downturn. There's no reason why Notre Dame should lose to NC State. The key components of Notre Dame defense would be walking in is to contain the pass. Notre Dame's been looking weak all season against the pass. The run, you guys are holding them to an average around 125 yards per game. You guys, with Arkansas being the most that they ran on you with 158 yards, you guys running defense is top tier. It's just the pass defense. They need to really get it right. I think Notre Dame is kind of looking past NC State right now so they can get better prepared for USC, because USC is a de facto playoff game for you, because they're probably the only biggest threat you guys have in this season that may stop you guys from going to the playoff. That's what I'm seeing.
Okay,
you know?
now all right, now Mr. Big Ten, let me ask you, what do you make? Number one is 22.5. Let's address that first. Do you think that's a fair number, or is that a bit high for Notre Dame in this game? It's opening at 22.5, Notre Dame as a favorite. Do you think that's fair for the NC State matchup?
Yes, because NC State don't have a good defense. They really don't. They keep losing to, like I said, they lost. They lose football games against mid-tier opponents, and because CJ Carr knows how to. Again, this kid is an elite quarterback, the best freshman in the country right now, future Heisman Trophy winner. It is definitely warranted. Your receivers are locking in. Your running backs are pounding it through. Your offensive line is getting a lot better. The offensive line is, if it wasn't for the defense with their, the big question, the big story on their end, it would be the offensive line of how well they're progressing and getting that quarterback protected and punching holes so the running backs can exploit them for you guys to maintain your offensive power.
Man, I like that. Okay, since you're the Sultan of scouting, let me ask you, what do you make of Michigan's trip west to LA to face USC? And that involves Notre Dame to me, because it's going to, no matter who wins or loses, it's going to be a physical, tough game in LA when Michigan goes out there. What do you make of that ball game? There's a lot of intrigue in the Notre Dame community about the outcome of that one. What do you make of that? It's interesting. Big new modern day Big Ten road trip there.
You definitely want Michigan to actually, you want USC to have a dominant win over Michigan. Why? Because when it comes to the playoff committee, let's assume that Notre Dame goes 10-2, and the question is, do they deserve to be in the playoffs? They're going to look at resume strength of schedule. At the moment, strength of schedule varies you very well with Notre Dame. You guys lost to two now top 10 teams, which those two top teams were the ones that only put up the most numbers against you on their offense. Texas A&M put nearly 360 yards on passing, and and Miami was able to just go a little south of what A&M produced against you. The strength of schedule is already in your favor. You want that with USC to add on to it. You want that niche in the belt to take out a top-tier opponent. And USC can pass. Lincoln Riley has a tendency of having football teams pass. All in short, you want USC to beat the hell out of Michigan, dominant win, so they can come into South Bend and get beat by Notre Dame. That right there is going to help lock your potential of getting into the playoffs, because Notre Dame's goal every season, because they don't play in a conference, no conference championship, every single year, whenever you go into the playoff, that's a successful season. When you win a playoff game, that's a successful season. That's the whole point of Notre Dame football in the modern era of football.
Oh, man, this is quite the robust breakdown, brother. Anything else? Thanks for calling on a Monday.
Yeah, no problem. I do got one thing. I'll make it quick. You know, I hear you in the weeks past talk about like history, Notre Dame, and history of college football. When it comes to the history, I can actually provide insight. I can tell you about, Notre Dame, how they, became the passing team, in the 20th century, or Penn State. I remember you asking, Nittany Lion, what is that? Whenever you got questions like that, I can answer them because I do follow up on the history of different college football teams. So I'm willing to share that to help you put in perspective of what your questions are.
Man, I do appreciate that. You're an encyclopedia of college football, my friend. I'll log my questions and I'll send them to your advisor. How about that?
Hey, man, whatever I can do to help the Irish, the always Irish community, because I like you guys. You guys are very welcome. And, I like to be a part of it, as well as the Ohio podcast. You guys are good people. I love it here. I love your hot rants, man. It's gold. I've been watching some of your old shorts, and I just can't stop laughing at them. But, man, great host, great show. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Until next time, on Notre Dame. Good luck, and I'll be watching you.
Have a good one, buddy. Bro, like, isn't that interesting? It's just interesting to me that the guy's a diehard Ohio State fan, but he's doing all this Notre Dame research and looking at the stats and whatever, and then he calls in with all the Notre Dame stuff. And it almost feels like a setup. Like the guy's being too genuine about being upbeat about Notre Dame, but he's an Ohio State fan, so you almost feel like you feel like it's a trap. But I think the guy's genuine. But it feels like a trap. I don't know, man. It does. I keep waiting to be like trolled by him, but he's being serious. Chief says, hell yeah, Judge Judy. Man, I'm telling you what. That lady has been laying down the law for like 40 years. Here's my question about Judge Judy. Is she ever wrong? You know what I'm saying? She gets up there and it's just like, no, you're an idiot. And you caused the accident, and she wins and you're an idiot. Is she ever wrong? Like, I just wonder, in all of those TV shows where Judge Judy does this stuff, was she ever wrong? I don't know. And then, did you guys hear about this? Late 90s, early 2000s. And she had the little Lacey Judge thing on. Clayton. Judge Judy showing off that booty. Oh, man. Anyways, back on track. Did you hear about this? This is brilliant. Late 90s, early 2000s. There was a group of friends that got together. You know how the judge shows, Judge Mathis, Judge Mills Lane, all these judge shows, Judge Judy, whatever, Judge Millian, the Italian lady, all of it. You agree to be on the show and you get a certain amount of money, whether you win or lose, to like do the litigation there or whatever, and not in a real court or whatever. And then you get a certain amount or whatever. So these friends decided to make up a bunch of cases against each other, submit them to these court shows, and then when whoever wins, they split the money and everybody wins. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So they would make up these cases and look like they were going against each other and then split the dough. Judge Judy ain't having it. Mark with glasses, what's going on?
I hate Ohio State so much. It's hard to even tolerate them when they're being nice.
Mark, it really is hard. Like, and Eric from the Ohio pod is the nicest guy in the world. And he's like a real life friend of mine now and is the nicest guy in the world. I don't have it in me to be mean to these people that are being genuinely nice to us. It's like messing up my worldview.
Yeah, Eric's pretty cool. But yeah, I like the second caller's idea of this team kind of rallying around the situation, improving with while we lose and other teams losing, kind of right along with the fan base. You know, we were all down and out. Now we're more back on track. I like that idea. I'm gonna stick with that. But you know, with the defense, you know, holding them to 7 points, getting 4 interceptions, I think things are coming along. But I still think it remains to be seen with that. But the offense is just ridiculously good. They're top 10 in scoring. We haven't seen these passing numbers since Cone. And, you know, Carr is way better than advertised. He's you know, 5th in the country yards per attempt, 7th in QBR. And he's definitely missed some deep balls, but he's 6th in the country in average per completion. So, and, you know, he's putting these numbers up and he's pushing the ball down the field, kind of throwing it around. And then you factor in, plus we played 2 top 5 teams, and he still has, you know, those kind of statistics. I think he's even better than what we've kind of seen, and he still left a lot on the plate. So, you know, 5 games in, he's already this good. You can only imagine kind of where his
I do not have
at.
I don't have worries. I don't have worries. The little bit of like an average, not the sharpest game, doesn't bother me at all last week. That's a part of the developmental arc of a first-time starter. I have no worries about it. I think the offense is going to be fine. Mark, the question I have for you is, are you cooling the heat on Ash? Like, are you starting to kind of be like, okay, I could get into this defense. I kind of like more of what I'm seeing. Like, are you gaining a comfort with it? Or are you still like looking at it side-eyed, like I'm waiting for something dumb to happen here? Where are you falling on this defense? I think that's a very interesting question, given how we started to where we're at.
Yeah, I think it remains to be seen. And I'm with you with the next 2 games kind of being the, you know, determining the season. And, you know, I think having those 2 games at home will kind of be that and kind of be the measuring stick of this defense, because the kind of remaining part of the schedule, I think, is very winnable. And, you know, Freeman, believe it or not, is 9-5 on the road, which I can't believe that's true, but and so when you look at the road games remaining, you got Boston College, Pitt, and Stanford. So I like our chances in those 3 versus, you know, the NC State and USC having them at home. So thank God those aren't flip-flopped. But, yeah, the defense, it just remains to be seen. Like, they eyeball test, they look better, they're flying around, and, you know, the 4 interceptions, and they're actually making plays instead of just kind of being out there. But yeah, that's kind of what I got circled, is just these next 2. And then if we get USC coming into town, if they beat Michigan, they're coming in ranked, you know, 5-1, last second loss away from being undefeated. And, you know, they're putting up 50 a game, and they've got a quarterback themselves. So that's going to be a hell of a game. And
yeah, hey Mark, what do you make of the Tim Ide argument of, like, do you want Michigan to beat USC so they're beat up and down and out and have 2 losses, feel bad about themselves? Or are you on the other side where you want a physical, tough game to wear USC down, but they eventually get the win to theoretically help prop us up if we were to beat them? Where do you fall on the position you want the Trojans in coming to town?
Yeah, I think I'm going to hope USC wins the, like, 10 overtime game and they're all beat to hell. That's kind of where I'm at. You know, I don't want them to win comfortably, but I hope it's like you know, they gotta play to the end and then they squeak out. But I hate both of them almost as much as Ohio State. So it's hard for me to even have a take on that game. But
yeah,
I think
yeah, I don't know what I want to happen. I don't know what I want bad things to happen to both of those teams. It's just I just really, really do. But the whole Michigan out there in LA, it's going to be an interesting watch. Like it is for a Notre Dame fan, it is a unique watch with the history we have with both those teams, not liking either one of them. And then it coming and then USC's right after it. Like, I want to see a physical, tough, drag out, knockdown game. I think that'll help Notre Dame.
Yeah. And we've beaten USC 9 of the last 12 years, so we need that to kind of continue. And with kind of dominating that series, I don't want to see one get a squeak away. And to the caller's point on Freeman earlier, I was kind of thinking of Lou Holt. He kind of said how he had Notre Dame in championship contention for 10 straight seasons, which, you know, had never been done at the time. It was one of his quotes on the Joe Buck thing that I remember him saying, but, and you know, he only won once, but he had 9 straight New Year's Six games, and he was, you know, kind of the ceiling being high. And I feel like that's where Freeman has us. And I mean, I'm not to mention his name, but can you imagine Freeman ever only winning 4 games in a season?
Yeah. It's,
or can you see him getting blown out by 30 or 40 points, like a certain somebody?
Yeah, that's something we haven't
feel like
seen.
We're so far from that. And we have, like, you know, a segment of this fan base that likes to kind of overreact with some of these losses, but I feel like we're so removed from some of this mess that, you know, I just feel like we're kind of built to kind of be contenders year in and year out. And I think he's shown the program's built better to overcome kind of the occasional messes. You know, we kind of see just, you know, Penn State, Texas, there's, you know, so I think we're winning out. I knew, you know, things would kind of get turned around. And I think, you know, since he's been a coach, there's only 5 teams that have more wins than Notre Dame. So,
yeah, it's, for me, it's a short-term 2-game season. Take care of NC State any which way, and then get ready for USC. And if you get to the final off week with 2 losses, that 10-2 is a real likely possibility. But you got to survive the next 2. They're both at home. You should have momentum. The defense is feeling better. And so that's what we need to see, Mark. Anything else before I see you on Raw tonight?
No, but I got us winning Saturday 52-21. And that's all I got because the Browns are ass, so I need them to win out. See y'all on Raw. Shout out to the chat.
Have a good one, Mark. Thanks for calling, as always. There's some irony there. He said that the Browns are ass. I guess that works out then, doesn't it? I guess that works out. And so I don't know, you guys. This is going to be very, very interesting. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I have a rejuvenated energy for the Irish. I'm going to finish the show the way I started it. It feels like Notre Dame won 3 games, not 1 over the weekend. You got a lot of help to position you back into that playoff thing. Yes, I did see what you said about Judge Judy. What do you got under that gown, Judge? Oh, my God. So anyways, really, really good start to the Monday. Well, I'm not used to that level. We had 250, 260 concurrent viewers on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. That's putting in some work. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for the calls. Thanks for the chats. Thanks for the donations. I got to all the regular callers. There's a few people that usually walk around town and listen or drive around at work and listen. I got a good bank of calls in. This was all fantastic. I'll see you guys tonight on Monday Night Raw. Love you guys. Really good start to the week.